Welcome back to Investing and Trading Live, sponsored by Online Trading Academy. As always, my name is Josh Lilquist, and I have my good friend Al with me each and every single week on the show, talking about the financial markets, how they work, the do's, the don'ts, and how to make smart investing and trading decisions. If you did miss seats for that investing class on the last segment, congratulations to those who did. But if you did miss, just simply text the word investing to the number 210 for 2 seats for this class. And the jumbo pack. So when you come into this class, you'll receive that jumbo pack with some different techniques and concepts, but really how to help you get started right away. On the last segment, we covered a few things, and Al had a couple of really good comments about working with some people, and they said, I learned just what I didn't know. I didn't know this was possible. I didn't know what those opportunities were here. And then what we talk about next is how do we transfer that knowledge into the skill of trading and investing. And that's what it's all about is repetition. And that's how us as adults, we learn. We have a class going on right now, and there's people in there trading the markets, and that's how you actually learn, is building the skills with someone that knows how to teach it, especially. That's one of the things that we have with our mentoring group and our instructors is, great, they know the markets. They know a lot about it. They know how it works. They had the skills. But being able to teach it, Al, is another story. And that's one of the cool things about our instructors. We have about 40, 50, I think maybe even 60 instructors now. And just helping people, really just like you, how to make those smart investing decisions, but to do that with consistency and confidence. So, Al, in this next segment here, I want to continue that discussion about, some of the things that people didn't know, how to transfer that knowledge into skill, especially if somebody wants to have an income strategy. Because if you think about this, you have inflation. Prices of everything are going up. People are losing jobs. There's less people working. There's people getting layoffs. There's layoffs everywhere, especially in the tech sector. Now, we're seeing people that want to have a backup plan, that want to be able to have more choices in life. And it takes extra income to do that. Even if you have a great job, how you save is extra income. So talk about those income strategies with the markets, and that can be any asset, not just stocks, and really some of the things that you need to be able to accomplish that.
Yeah. First of all, let me just comment. You made the comment about what I said in the first segment, where people said that they didn't know. They learned some things that they didn't know.
Sure.
What they also learned is what they did know, or what they do know, isn't necessarily the right things.
Well, there's a lot of conditioning out there. We're trained and conditioned to be sheep, to do certain things.
Yeah, and I talked about some of those fallacies. We kind of open the, I think we always say we pull back the curtain on how things really function.
It's kind of like if anybody's ever watched The Wizard of Oz. Remember when The Wizard of Oz is pulling all those levers and Toto go and moves that curtain? That's kind of like what it is.
Yeah, right. And again, just concentrate on what's factual. But this is the real goal, no matter what your ultimate goal is, whether you're looking for short-term income or long-term wealth. Basically, it's how to achieve low-risk, high-probability trades that result in maximum gains with minimum effort. It's working smart. It's working right. You mentioned the 40, 50, 60 instructors that we have. These guys are professional traders. That's how you learn. Learn from somebody who already knows how to do it and also knows what not to do, because that's a lot of the problems that we see are people doing things that are wrong. So if you can get that out of your life and just concentrate on what works, that makes a huge difference.
That goes to that word that you said earlier, is probabilities.
Yep. And, you mentioned one of the reasons that people are looking for income now, extra income, is because of the layoffs, because of, and there's a lot of concern about what AI is going to be doing to careers in the future. But, I started making a list of some of the companies that were going through layoffs.
Okay.
When I got to 30 companies, I started running out of space to write. But I mean, you're looking at like Roku laying off 10% of their workforce, Farmers Insurance, 2,400 jobs, CVS, 5,000 jobs, Morgan Stanley, 3,000 jobs, 3M, 6,000 jobs, Amazon, another 9,000 more than the 18,000 that they laid off in January. Meta, the old Facebook, 10,000. I mean, these are some big numbers.
And these are, Al, just one thing to note there. These are household companies. 3M.
Right.
A lot of people here in the metro will work for 3M.
Yeah.
CVS. A lot of people work for CVS in the metro here. It's not just these big tech companies. It's regular household companies.
Yeah, right. No, exactly. And we see this often where people come in, they are totally blindsided by the fact that they thought they had a secure job and they don't. When you work for somebody else, there really is never going to be 100% security there.
Yep.
But if you work for yourself as a trader or investor, you're the only person that can lay yourself off or fire yourself.
Yep.
And if you do this right, why would you want to do it?
Yeah. So how do you help people build those skills and
Well,
strategies?
the number one thing is to learn what the assets are that you can use for income. Unfortunately, the way Wall Street puts people into the market is basically on the let me step back a second. There's really two components to your financial life. One is the income component, the asset gathering. One is the wealth and distribution portion when you're in retirement. What Wall Street has you do is more geared towards the wealth retirement, but you can't get there unless you have the additional income to be able to build a retirement
Yeah,
account.
so if you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, late 50s, now is the time to start to build for that.
Absolutely. The sooner you start, the greater the impact of compounding can be for you. But if you're looking for additional income, it has to be something you can access on a short-term basis. And that's not typically stocks. Stocks are great for the long-term buildup of wealth in your retirement accounts. But if you're looking for something that you have the extra money coming in to use now, it has to be something that you get into and out of quickly. We talk about this every week. There are assets like options, futures, Forex, things that you probably haven't been educated on that are ideal for short-term trading. Wall Street has you put together a portfolio and then hold on to it. It's what we call buy and hold. Hold on to it for 10 or 20 or 30 years. But if you've ever seen the trading pits where you've got hundreds of people that are working for different firms that are trading every day, and all of these firms, these big firms, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, they all have traders that are trading daily. They don't go out on the floor or put a portfolio together and then hold on to it for 10 or 20 or 30 years and then just play Fortnite or some game on their phones all day long. They're trading. They're actively trading. Why would they do that, though, and not have you do it? Because they don't want you to know how to do it. It's too much work for them.
That's the crazy thing is they're putting the public, and when we're talking about Wall Street, that's brokers, advisors,
Sure.
the wealth management
hedge
companies
funds,
and stuff
right.
like that, people that are holding a lot of the money for people. And that's all it is really holding the money, but they want to be able to just put you in a fund and let it sit there.
Yeah.
They're doing something totally different.
Yeah.
Think about that for a second. It's one of those things, what we say this pretty frequently in the show, do as I say, not as I do. And that's what's happening. And that is why I would say probably 95% of the public struggle because they're being put into that strategy that really is, I don't want to say set up to fail, but it's set up to be very, very complacent and not getting people to their financial goals. Now, we have a lot of people that want to build that strategy, build that goal. They have financial goals. And it's going to take time to do not new things, just a little bit different.
Right.
And that's the key. And you talk a lot about that in these investing classes, how to do things differently. If you're a person that is an outside of the box thinker and you have goals financially, or maybe it's just time goals or whatever that may be, it's going to be taking a little bit of time to do things a little bit differently, but doing that now. So just text the word investing to the number 210-210 to an investing class where we cover these concepts, these techniques on how to prepare for that future as well. Text investing to the number 210-210 for 2 seats for an investing class that we do locally here at the Academy. We're right off 494, real easy to get to. We have these classes. They're about 2 hours long, covering all the markets and how to have income strategies in the market. So, Al, you mentioned something I was just thinking about some things when you were talking there about now is the time to start. We had talked, if you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, you got to get started, hopefully early enough. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of people listening right now, probably I'd say 50s, 60s, and they're like, oh, well, it's too late now. But think about this for a second. If you're in your 50s, you're barely past halftime. You almost have half of your life to live, probably pretty close, right? Why feel it's too late? Now, you're trained to think it's too late. We're trained. Remember, I remember when over the hill at 40 years old was old. Yeah, right. Now that's young. 50. I don't know what the term for that was. Maybe that's over the hill. No, I don't know. But if you're in your 50s and 60s and you feel like it's too late for you to do something, you might want to think differently, because it's never too late.
No, that is absolutely true, and one of the things that we need to do is start to change our thinking, be more optimistic, be more positive about what the possibilities are, because they are there. It's just that people haven't been taught to dream, number one, and
Yep.
then how to achieve those dreams.
Yeah.
Time is the most precious thing we have. That's more precious than money. And every day that goes by, you have less time available. But but that short term income, well, typically people will think, well, if I'm 50 or 60, it's too late because I'm supposed to hold on to something for 10 or 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what if you went out and you got a job tomorrow and you got a paycheck coming in every week or every month? Well, there's money coming in you can spend now.
Yeah.
Well, instead of getting a job where you're putting your precious time on the line, kind of wasting that time and not spending it with your family or yourself or however you want to spend it, why not learn how to do something where you can access that short-term income with a short amount of time, a
Yeah.
little bit of time? If you know how to do this smart, you do it right,
Mm-hmm.
and you actually take advantage of people that are showing you what to do, teaching you what to do, that already know how to do it. That's the way that you really maximize the value of the time that you have left.
And what Al is explaining here is being efficient with your time, but also very efficient with your capital. Now, just kind of to paint a picture here, people are taught to long-term strategy. Keep it for everybody probably said in their head, long term, right? Well, there are strategies with other assets, not than just stocks. You have the futures market, you have the Forex market, and even the options market. Now, what those assets are able, the strategies for those assets is what Al is talking about, being able to have a strategy that's designed to have a income coming through.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
people don't like saying those words, but I'm going to say that. It's a strategy to have an income coming through.
Sure.
Now, if you feel like you don't have time, now use a leveraged asset like that
Exactly.
to be efficient, so your dollars go further and you can do more with that. You essentially have buying power. And in these investing classes, we explain to you how that leverage is used safely in the financial markets.
Right.
You talk about this a lot in your workshops, and I really love how you do that. Is one of the first things we got to do is teach you how to keep your money. And then once you keep your money, then you got to be able to grow that. And that's the skill. But you want to be able to grow that efficiently with leverage. Now, doing that safely, efficiently, based off your time. Alice he always talks about we have a limited amount of time, right? We can't get that back. People think you have to be stuck on your computer all day long.
No, don't do that.
Yeah,
Please.
exactly. There's strategies to use in the markets where you set your investment or trade up, however you want to call it, and you let the computer work for you. So once you set it up, there's nothing for you to do. So you shouldn't be sitting at your computer and watching that trade move because, for one, it's boring. If you want to watch that, just go watch the blades of grass grow on your yard.
Yeah, right.
So it's just having that strategy designed that that's beneficial no matter what your schedule is. If you're working 40, 50, 60 hours a week, there's strategies designed for that type of person. Maybe you're retired and you don't want to do things during the day because you like to golf or you like to do certain things. Well, there's strategies to use it in the evening. So if you want flexibility of time, you want to be in the right asset for that. There's 24-hour markets that are actually open around the clock. So there's a lot of concepts we're talking about here in techniques, and we can only do so much on the radio here, but I want to make sure people have the opportunity to come into one of our classes here. We're actually right here in Bloomington. We're right off 494, and we've been seeing a lot of people come in and say, I didn't even know you guys were here. We've been here since 2010. 2010. And teaching people just like you how to get in the market safely, confidently, to make intelligent investing decisions. So simply come into one of these classes and see what it's all about. Just text the word investing to the number 210 for 2 seats, and the jumbo pack to help you get started right away. Text investing to the number 210 for 2 seats to this investing class, about 2 hours during the week or the weekend. And then we'll get you on the right foot to your financial goals, whatever they may be. Coming up next, stay tuned. I want to cover some retirement strategies. We talked about the long haul. Let's talk about if you're in your 50s and 60s. That way, if you don't feel like you have the long haul, how to do that quicker, how to have the opportunity and the strategy for that. We will be right back.